Los Angeles, Orange County. It's time for your morning wake-up call. And now, here's Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Good morning. I came in today and I told Alex and Tyler and Misty who's been training this morning, I feel like I've let you all down, including you. Because I didn't rescue any dogs this morning. There's no police activity on the way to work. I drove to work this morning. And nothing good for you. Oh, other than lawmakers in the Senate say they've reached a deal to keep the federal government funded. So how did we get to this deal? We'll find out with ABC's Karen Travers. And also, one thing that has been coming up when it comes to the infrastructure bill that Karen asked at the White House yesterday was, where's Vice President Kamala Harris? And I thought this was a great question because if you think about it, she's been a senator for years. So wouldn't she be instrumental in helping senators get over the hump of voting for this infrastructure bill and the debt ceiling bill on top of it, even though there's already been a deal it looks like reached. But where is she? So we'll find out what Karen heard when she asked that question when we talk with her in just a few minutes. Supporters of Britney Spears are celebrating a judge's decision that brings her one step closer to freedom, and the LA City Council will revisit a vaccine mandate next week. So let's get into some of these stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Lawmakers in the Senate say they've reached a deal to keep the federal government funded.
We are ready to move forward. We have an agreement on the CR, the continuing resolution to prevent the government shutdown.
That's Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who says the bill will fund the government through the beginning of December and also include money for disaster relief and Afghan refugees. A vote on the bill is expected to happen this morning. If it does happen during our show, obviously, I'll let you know the results as soon as possible. Supporters of Britney Spears are celebrating a judge's decision that brings her one step closer to freedom.
A judge in LA could decide to completely end the conservatorship at a hearing set for November 12th. Spears' father was suspended as the conservator to her state yesterday, and a temporary one was appointed. Spears' attorney Matt Rosengard says the Free Britney movement has been instrumental.
To the extent that it allowed my son to carry the ball across the finish line, I thank that as well.
Spears' new conservator is a certified public accountant. In downtown LA, like solely KFI News.
The LA City Council will revisit a vaccine mandate next week.
The only holdout during yesterday's meeting was Councilman Joe Buscaino. Council President Nori Martinez said before the meeting, the mandate's based on science and will save lives. The ordinance would require proof of vaccination to enter certain places.
What we're trying to do is limit the transmission of this virus. We're not trying to shut anybody down.
Martinez says the vaccine mandate's no longer negotiable and wants to make it inconvenient for those who refuse to get vaccinated. At City Hall in downtown LA, Steve Gregory, KFI News.
LA County health officials say pregnant women and new moms should get vaccinated against COVID-19 to avoid severe illness from the virus or adverse outcomes to their pregnancies. The Department of Public Health says it's following the CDC's lead, which put out similar advice yesterday. The CDC says only 31% of pregnant women in the U.S. are fully vaccinated. It's also denounced suggestions that COVID-19 vaccines are potentially harmful to pregnant women or could cause infertility. More than $500,000 and an arrest warrant have been approved for the son of a former Real Housewives Orange County cast member.
The settlement for Josh Waring is over claims OC Sheriff's deputies allowed inmates to attack him. Waring claims because he exposed the scandal where attorney-client privileged calls were illegally being recorded at OC jail. Supervisors approved the settlement this week. Waring pleaded guilty in a shooting and was released last year. The judge said then he's a different person when he's sober. But Waring was arrested twice for drug charges after his release, and the guy's a fugitive for not showing up to court. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
And LA County Sheriff Villanueva says his homeless outreach teams are working to clear homeless camps along San Vicente in the VA hospital in West LA and the high-rise fire zone areas in the foothills.
We're working on a third site that is a tourist destination that's been impacted by the homeless, and we're going to work through what time frame it will take us to clear that one out as well.
Villanueva says he's also ready to help the city of LA remove homeless camps from MacArthur Park. The LAPD says it's been ordered by Councilman Joe Cedillo to clean up the park. When we come back, we'll talk with ABC's Karen Travers. Could we be close to a deal now to avert a government shutdown? And where is Vice President Kamala Harris then when it comes to getting some of the president's infrastructure bills and his budget deals passed through the Senate? We'll find out in a second. Right now, let's say good morning to Nick Kfi. Where you heading, Nick?
Hey, Jen, looks like it's going to be a busy drive. No big surprise as you make your way through the Corona area on the westbound side of the 91. You're going to Riverside, going to be light and patchy so far for your morning drive. As you come away from, looks like as far back as about Lost Sierra this morning. Continuing toward the 241 toll road, and then beyond that as you make your way through the Santa Ana Canyon, Yorba Linda, and Anaheim Hills for the 55. Not too bad of a drive if you're encountering otherwise. Past the 50 on your cell phone keyword is Kfi traffic. Checking the drive for you in the Orange County area. Looks like North South Trans Highway started the process of wrapping up right now. And as you make your way through Hollywood on the southbound side of the 101, still dealing with a wreck that has, looks like maybe all lanes shut down. We'll definitely keep you updated. It's still going for you right now as you come away from Vine. Kfi in the sky helps get to that faster. I'm Nick Kfi.
5:06 on your wake-up call. Karen Travers, good morning to you. So, lawmakers in the Senate say a deal has been reached to avoid a government shutdown?
Yes, so that's one good thing off the to-do list today. That was announced yesterday. The Senate leadership had reached a deal to fund the government through December 3rd, and that takes a little bit of pressure off of them today. We'll see the Senate move forward on that late morning, early afternoon. The House does have to pass it because it's different than what they had passed. Then it would go to the president for his signature. So that's a good thing. But they've got a lot of other stuff that they're working on today. And of course, that's just since the government funding issue to the beginning of December. And you still have the debt ceiling issue in mid-October. There's a lot of things going on. But on infrastructure, as of now, and it is 8:06 Eastern Time here in Washington, as of now, the House is still scheduled to vote on the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure package that already passed the Senate, and that will do the roads and bridges and expand broadband internet, things like that. That vote is likely to fail because progressives have been very loudly saying they're going to vote against it because there is still no deal, no real significant movement on that second infrastructure package. That's the big domestic agenda for President Biden. That includes the plans to combat climate change, early childhood education, healthcare, childcare money. That is not supposed to be done, so progressives say they're going to have to vote no on the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
Did we lose him?
Get that other one forward.
Okay, sorry, we lost you for just a second there. There we go.
Okay,
you're back. Okay, so I want to go back to you said that this bill would probably fail in the House today. Would House Speaker Nancy Pelosi actually bring a bill to the floor that would actually fail, or would she just delay the vote?
That's the big question. And when she was asked that last night, she said, I'm taking it hour by hour. So about 12 hours after that answer, I think, it's still not clear what the direction the bill will go in today. She is not somebody who brings something to the floor if it will fail. She would push that off. So we're we're looking for every potential previews today to see where things could be heading over the next, say, 12 hours. But I think the reality seemed to be setting in last night. Certainly the White House indicating that too, that, they don't have to do this today. There are some things that they want to get it done today for a very wonky issue that we don't want to get into at the moment, but they can keep working on this in October. They can keep working on all this in November. They can go into December. But moderates in the House had wanted to give a big win, to check the bipartisan infrastructure plan off that to-do list, get it to the president for his signature, and have something they can say, yes, we got it done. Progressives are just worried that if that happens, they lose leverage, and that the back burner will be the place for that other very expensive and much bigger and scope second package.
Karen, you asked an incredible question yesterday that I went, oh yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Where is Vice President Harris when it comes to helping senators get over the hump and vote for the infrastructure bill?
It just struck us as interesting. We haven't seen a president since Monday. He went to the Congressional Baseball game last night, but I should say we haven't heard from him because they're doing all these meetings behind closed doors. So my question for Jen Psaki was, is the vice president involved in that? Is she in the meeting when the president's talking to Kirsten Sinema in Joe Manchin? She was former senator. She was there only a couple months ago to see, in theory, enough relationships or experience in these types of conversations. Jen's going to say if her Harris was in those types of meetings, but did say that the vice president has been making calls to members. He's been engaged with the legislative team. But it's certainly a trick, this is interesting in the last couple of days that she has not seemed to play a public, visible role in getting this practice on the flying.
All right, Karen, good question. And we'll talk again tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, see you later. All right, that's ABC's Karen Travers. So again, if House Speaker Pelosi, if the Senate passes the stopgap bill then that would avoid that government shutdown, it heads to the House. I'll let you know, of course, the outcomes of both of those votes. It is expected that it will pass, even though it is different in the House than what they had come up with. It is expected that it will pass both of those, so that stopgap measure we could see that happen this morning. I think when it comes to the infrastructure bill and as to whether House Speaker Pelosi will actually bring it to the floor, not sure that will happen during our show, but we'll see. Get back to some of the stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Dozens of trade groups have criticized the Biden administration over a proposal that would require banks to give the IRS bank account information for all accounts holding more than $600. It's part of Biden's plan to try and catch wealthy tax cheaters. The trade groups argue the requirement would target almost every American. House Ways and Means Chairman Richard Neal says he and other Democrats are planning to scrap the $600 figure and set a higher threshold. California Senator Dianne Feinstein has introduced a bill that would require a COVID-19 vaccine or a recent negative test for air travel in the U.S. The bill would also require the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the FAA, and the CDC to come up with COVID guidelines for domestic flights to prevent outbreaks. Feinstein says the bill would help avoid a surge of cases during the holidays. A federal judge wants all prison guards in California to be vaccinated against COVID-19.
The judge says the Department of Corrections has 2 weeks to come up with a plan to make this a reality. Inmates who work outside the prison and those who want on-site visitors will also have to get a shot. The Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation is evaluating the order to determine next steps. There are some medical and religious exemptions to the order. Deborah Marsh, KFI News.
The mother of a 12-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl who were killed in Lancaster has been arrested at home in Arizona. She's facing 2 counts of murder and child endangerment. The kid's father was arrested last December when the bodies were found. Prosecutors say 2 younger boys were shown their murdered siblings' bodies and forced to stay in their bedrooms for several days without food. New video has been turned over to the FBI in the search for Brian Laundrie, the boyfriend of dead travel blogger Gabby Petito. ABC's Andrew Dimbert says it's surveillance video from a park where Laundrie went camping earlier this month.
Authorities say Brian went to the campsite with his parents, not far from their Florida home, after he returned from a cross-country trip without his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
The FBI also has video from an AT&T store where Laundrie bought a cell phone after she got back to Florida from the trip. 3 projects to ease traffic in OC come with promise to protect open space in San Clemente from future freeways. Supervisor Lisa Bartlett says the agreement also prevents the state from interfering.
We really want to focus on those 3 projects moving forward. And I know when people talk about the open space in San Clemente, that's also protected by Measure V that was passed in 2008.
The 3 projects include extending a parkway, widening Ortega Highway in San Juan Capistrano, and adding carpool lanes on the 5 from Avenida Pico to the San Diego County line. 2 elementary schools in Oakland have been closed for the rest of the week. Why? I know you probably all went COVID, because I did. No, it has nothing to do with COVID. It's a flea infestation at 2 elementary schools. The Oakland School District says the schools with the fleas are right next to each other, and it's possible the infestation was caused by raccoons. Exterminators have been working to get rid of the bugs for the past few weeks. So we have COVID to worry about, government shutdowns, debt ceilings, infrastructure bills, murder hornets in Washington state, and now raccoons with fleas. And puddles. Oh, Lord, they would have to choose that song. Disney World is celebrating its 50th anniversary tomorrow. 6,000 people opened the theme park in Florida on October 1st, 1971. 2 dozen of them still work there. Okay, that's cool. When we come back, we'll talk with ABC's Aaron Kursky. So the NBA has given kind of a hard, if you don't get the shot, and I don't mean the basketball shot, you don't get the shot, the COVID shot, you don't get to play, and you don't get paid. So how many players actually are not vaccinated? And has this pushed any of them to go get the vaccine? We'll find out in a second. Right now, Nick's going to tell us what's up on the 101.
In Hollywood, still dealing with a crash that has all southbound lanes shut down for your drive. This is happening 101 southbound Calico Boulevard, Gateway toward Franklin. Looks like all those lanes off limits. It started around 2:30 this morning, and unfortunately, that's all the details I've got on you. It looks like it may be a fatality crash investigation. If you're heading to this area of town, time to pick on your cell phone. Keyword KFI traffic again. Time to pick on your cell phone. Keyword KFI traffic. Always appreciate that heads up on your morning drive. Southbound 101. Going to be busy for your drive from well before Highland as you're heading on southbound, continuing toward Calico Boulevard. In fact, it looks like you're going to be hopping off at Highland to help avoid that slowing. So definitely heads up for you here. And back to the Inland Empire, westbound side of the 91 Riverside to Corona. Heavy sections are slowing for you this go round from before Tyler, and you'll see those delays continuing toward the 241 toll road. KFI, this time helps get you there faster. I'm just calling it King. I had an electrician over at the house the other day. He pops open the panel on the side of the house, and he goes, "Whoa, you have Solar Max technology?" And I said, "Yep, had it for a few years." And he says, "How is it?" And I said, "It's unbelievable."
And he immediately cranked that temp down to 60 degrees.
He did, because with my Solar Max panels, my electricity is practically free.
SolarMax is local. They're right here in Southern California. They've got the best products and the best service going.
Yep, means exceptional quality control. SolarMax has no middleman, and I saved with even more because there was no upfront cost.
And they have the newest, most innovative Tesla products like the Tesla 420 panels and Powerwalls.
So you're going to pay zero down for that Tesla package and $79.96 per month with a 1.99% APR.
Call pound 250 from your cell phone. Say that keyword SolarMax. That's pound 250. Keyword SolarMax. Do it by September 30th for this great offer.
Monthly payment available on approved credit. See SLB number 972.
This report is sponsored by Mercury Insurance. Mercury Insurance believes that simplicity is smart, which is why they make it easy to save time and money by bundling your home and auto policies at mercuryinsurance.com. Get a quote today to see how much you could save. Mercury Insurance. Smart insurance for smart people.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by DuckDuckGo. The Dodgers hammered 4 home runs in the 8th to rally past the Padres. LA remains 2 games behind the Giants in the divisional race. According to the Angels manager, Joe Madden, Shohei Ohtani was hit his last scheduled start of the season. And Melanie Newman and Jessica Mendoza made history calling ESPN's first all-women's broadcast. Newman recently took part in the first female broadcast in MLB history. I'm Missy Wood.
What is it that makes you uniquely you? Well, DuckDuckGo doesn't think that's any of their business. And frankly, it shouldn't be the business of any tech company. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. Rates subject to change without notice. Minimum yield amount requirement apply. 50% loan to value and 745 credit score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Financial Lenders Law License number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
Unbelievable. Home loan rates have dropped again at IntelliLoan. Today, IntelliLoan is offering a 1.875% rate in APR with no points and no lender fees. Did you hear that? A 1.875%. Don't think you qualify? I bet you haven't called IntelliLoan. You don't have to have perfect credit to get this great home loan. So lock in this unbelievably low 1.875% fixed rate in APR with no points and no lender fees. So call IntelliLoan before the rates go up. Call them at 1-800-918-6200. That's 1-800-918-6200. Or just go to IntelliLoan.com. IntelliLoan. Better, smart.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas.
As a small business owner, I'm trying to build my business while keeping costs down. But imagine my surprise when I heard car insurance on the radio saying I might be overpaying for workers' comp. Ty said they could save small businesses like mine up to 30% on workers' comp coverage. It sounded simple, so I went to tryty.com, got a quote in 3 minutes, and ended up saving thousands. Ty insurance is a breath of fresh air. They can put me at ease by explaining my policies and making sure I only paid for what I needed. It felt great to know I was protecting my employees while saving money. It's easy to see why Pi is rated excellent on Trustpilot by customers. If you're a small business owner, check out Pi Insurance for workers' comp. Ask your agent for Pi or see how much you could save at trypi.com. That's TIYPIE.com.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. Over 43 years of experience. Insurance job pound 250 use keyword personal injury to connect to OPO Law.
When you dial pound 250, you'll have the option of receiving an automatic text message from iHeartMedia.
When Bill and I needed new windows over 20 years ago, we picked a company we thought would do a good job. We were so disappointed.
So we saw a genuine need for a company with strong character, one that people could have faith in.
American Vision Windows was born right then and there.
What sets American Vision Windows apart is easily the culture. Their greatest investment is in their employees, and it shows.
It was a great experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
I've been in the construction trade for 35 years. The level of quality of products that they use for their prep work was top-notch.
American Vision Windows continues to revolutionize the home improvement industry, one customer at a time, while changing the lives of our employees for the better. It's so simple.
Happy employees, happy customers.
For a limited time, American Vision Windows will pay the tax. Plus, you won't need to make payments for 6 whole months. Call 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. Or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com.
Approved credit, not all applicants will qualify. Conditions apply. Call us website for details. Offer ends 10/31/2021. CSW number 778-326.
Sunday night at 8. LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, unscripted.
I'm being cheered on by the people in the high desert because of illegal growth. I'm being cheered on by the people in Venice, people on Rivera Street. Everyone was impacted by homeless throughout LA County.
What's the sheriff going to talk about? Who is he going to talk about?
If the least of the party want to see me resign, you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going anywhere.
KFI gives the mic to LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva this Sunday night at 8 on KFI.
The Friday Eve. Shannon fan, are you listening? I know that bug says so bad when I say Friday Eve. It's will come in and go, I heard you. I heard you say that. You did it just because it bugs me. Yeah, kind of. Here's some of the stories we're following in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Lawmakers in the Senate say a deal has been reached between Democrats and Republicans to avoid a government shutdown. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says lawmakers will vote on a stopgap bill today that will fund the government into December. If the bill passes the Senate, it will be sent to the House for a vote. If it doesn't pass, the government's set to run out of money tomorrow. And the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol has issued another round of subpoenas. The subpoenas have gone to 11 people involved in planning the rally that happened just before rioters attacked the Capitol. The committee issued its first round of subpoenas to 4 associates of former President Trump about a week ago. 5:35, we'll talk with ABC's Jim Ryan, a suspected serial killer. Have you heard about this guy in Texas? He's accused of at least 5 murders. The details of this case are so gruesome. I'm going to give you a little warning here because this guy not only did some, it wasn't just like murder. He then went beyond that. And he thinks he has a reason why. So we'll talk with Jim about that in just a second. Now let's get to another story before we get to ABC's Aaron Tursky. An unreleased song from an ex-Beatle has been sold at auction.
Most of the people who are dying are black.
No, I don't think that's it at all. Let's do this one.
An interview with John Lennon and Yoko Ono has gone for just below $60,000. The 33-minute cassette was recorded in Denmark with about 10 people in the room, including 4 16-year-old students working for their school magazine. The 1970 interview was 10 years before he was shot and killed, but only a few months after he last recorded with the Beatles. One of the students asked Lennon to play some guitar. He played an early version of Give Peace a Chance and an unreleased song called Radio Peace. $58,000, and 51 years later, Radio Peace could soon be heard by everyone. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
I always feel badly about this week because I feel like we are fat-shaming bears. And do we really need to do that in this day and age? Are we past that now? Yet, the celebration of Fat Bear Week continues in Virginia. Yesterday actually started the annual competition in this park in Alaska where more than 2,000 brown bears live. And these little brown bears just get kind of a buffet of salmon. And every year the park holds these online contests to crown what they call the fattest brown bear, which could we refer to them as how about chunky? How about fluffy? How about well fed? How about in their winter attire? Do we have to explain this? What they do is they go around and they take pictures of these bears, and then fat bear fans click on which one they think is the fattest, and then the bear with the most votes advances. Which, now we're just judging them and we don't even know. Don't we need some accuracy? Don't we need some actual poundage to know? Bear 747 is last year's champion and is competing again this year. The large adult male is estimated to weigh more than 1,400 pounds. Other bears include 32 Chunk, which was last year's runner-up, Holly, a female bear who won in 2019, and you've got Otis, who was the winner, a 3-time winner. So, I don't know, fat-shaming bears, are we there anymore? Aaron Katursky, good morning to you. Let's talk about the NBA and vaccinations now, and they're getting serious when it comes to, hey, you either get the shot or you don't play and you don't get paid.
Well, and it's not a mandate. That would have to be collectively bargained. But what the NBA is saying in a city where a vaccination is required just to get into the arena where you play, and you have to miss those games because you're not vaccinated, you're not going to get paid for those games. So this applies to the Knicks, the Nets, and the Golden State Warriors. All of those cities, San Francisco and New York, have indoor gathering vaccination requirements. So Kyrie Irving, for example, the Nets star, had to miss Media Day Monday at Barclays Center because entry into the arena requires proof of vaccination, and he isn't vaccinated.
Okay, here is, I want to play a cut from former Laker and basketball star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He says the NBA players need to be more responsible when they make decisions about COVID-19, and says black players in particular should use their influence to encourage people to get the shot.
Most of the people who are dying are black people. Most of the people who are losing their jobs and being negatively affected in other ways, economically, are black Americans.
You know, and one person yesterday that we were talking about, of course, was LeBron James, who finally got his vaccination. He said he only did it after he did the research on it and wasn't necessarily endorsing the shot, but he said that he felt after he did the research that that was the right thing for him to do.
Well, I'm glad he's come around, and whatever research he felt he needed to do independently of whatever other experts have said. But I think for NBA players, there's probably about 45 of them, of the 450 active NBA players that are not vaccinated. And if they happen to play for the Knicks, Nets, or Warriors, they're going to be docked pay if, in fact, they can't play. I mean, like right now, Kyrie Irving would have to miss 44 games between the home games, the games with the Knicks and the Warriors. And that, for him, probably isn't a lot of money, but maybe for some other players it is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, these big guys with the big contracts, it probably won't make much difference. But if you're a younger guy on the bench and you've decided, I don't know if I really need, want to get this right now, or I don't maybe trust the same research that LeBron James was citing yesterday, maybe this isn't the thing for me. But when it comes to their pocketbook, and I thought yesterday, I wondered if that was one of the things that LeBron James finally factored into his research was, this could impact my pocketbook a little bit. Maybe I should go ahead and get the shot.
Well, if it did, maybe it did. Irving says he won't talk about it, that it's private. But, the mayor of New York was saying, urging him publicly to get vaccinated. He said he wants to see a championship in Brooklyn. And without Kyrie Irving, they ain't going to get there. At some point, maybe there'll be some team pressure. But officially, the NBA is not able to mandate a vaccine without, some kind of collective bargaining with the union. And they're just not there yet.
All right. Aaron, thanks for the update. We'll keep an eye on it.
Thanks, Jen.
See ya. ABC's Eric Tursky. And that's, yeah, I mean, I guess if you have enough money, it's like the mandates that you see in the hospitals or with police departments or with schools, anything like that. I guess if you have the money and you don't need the gig, or you can push off some games like a Kyrie Irving, then okay, then maybe you do have the means to dig your heels in the ground. But for a lot of other people, if they work in a job that there is a vaccine mandate, you have two choices. Get fired and probably not be able to go on unemployment because that doesn't cover somebody who's been fired because they didn't get the COVID-19 vaccine in most cases. So then you would just be out of a paycheck. And, or you decide, you know what, I can't be without a paycheck, so you go get the shot. One more little bit of news. One more bit of great news. Blink-182's lead singer says he is cancer-free. Mark Hoppus was diagnosed a few months ago with stage 4 lymphoma, and he says he feels so blessed for all the support that he has received. When we come back, we'll talk with ABC's Jim Ryan about this suspected serial killer that has finally been nabbed in Texas. He's accused of at least 5 murders, but says he has a reason why he committed them. That's straight ahead. Next, taking out your drive on the 91.
The Riverside definitely going to be a busy one now for main lanes, but it's going to be slow going for you in heavy stretches as you come away from Van Buren out of Riverside now, proceeding through the coronary pass the 241 toll road. Heading to about Green River. The good news is Super Station and Canyon west on the 91 looks pretty decent for your drive, continuing through Yorba Linda and Anaheim Hills as you make way toward the 55. Good news for your drive in Hollywood as well. Problems have wrapped up on the southbound side of the 101. It was a fatality crash investigation started around 2:30 this morning. All lanes have reopened, and updating the maps, not seeing any delays left over for you whatsoever as those lanes have reopened. 5 northbound out of Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs. From before the 605, definitely starting to get patchy for your drive into Commerce as you head towards Sloss, and for the northbound on the 5, leaving the 710 out of East LA and Commerce, you'll see delays in stretches through Boyle Heights to the 101. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Macaulay O'Keefe.
Navigating Medicare can simply be overwhelming, which is why I'm suggesting you call AGA Medicare Options. Get educated about all the rules before you make decisions about your Medicare. And believe me, plans change every year, and sometimes dramatically. Let me tell you what AGA is offering. Free dinner and an educational Medicare seminar. There'll be no enrollments and no sales at the seminars, and it's a question of teaching you what's going on. AGA's team of experienced agents will advise you step by step on a plan that fits your unique situation and budget. And as I said, everybody's different. AGA will help you find plans that are accepted by your physicians, cover your medications at the lowest out-of-pocket cost. The free dinner and seminar, and they're all over Southern California. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and use the keyword My Medicare. Say My Medicare. Pound 250 on your cell and say My Medicare. Or visit AGAMedicareOptions.com. AGAMedicareOptions.com.
Check out weather from KFI. We've got a sunny Thursday and warmer. Highs will be in the mid-70s to low 80s at the beaches. Mid-80s for Orange County and Metro LA. We'll be in the upper 80s to the lower 90s for the valleys and the IU. And you can basically copy and paste our forecast for your weekend. We read local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jensen Jones Lee.
This is my business. I started it, and my hard work made it successful. We survived the last year, and things are starting to look better, but now hard work alone isn't enough. I need cash to hire some people and buy supplies.
Loan your business is for people like you. You can loan your business from $6,000 up to $250,000. And we understand that you don't need the cash soon. You need it now. And if your credit isn't perfect, that's okay. Apply today and you can have the money in your account tomorrow. Loan your business loans have longer terms, keeping your monthly payments low and manageable. You can even take a loan off early to control your costs with no prepayment penalties.
That sounds great.
Simply go to loanmebiz.com to get started. That's loanmebiz.com or call 844-3